Welcome to MP Cyber.
Hello and welcome to today's video, guys, in our third part of MITRE ATT&CK series. Today's goal is I'm gonna showcase and build on what we've done so far. So we walk through the whole framework and the model of how we're gonna build better security operations center aligning to MITRE ATT&CK. So in the last video we showcased how to build heat maps, whether it's for threat actor groups, whether it's for different software and malware variants, and also we build a mitigation heat map. So today I want to showcase another tool in our environment and how we can transform the previous build heat maps into defend matrix. So there is another tool called MITRE D3FEND. So this whole matrix is built around how we can harden our platforms, messages hardening, credential hardening, how we can detect specific techniques, how we can isolate and deceive, as well as evict threat actors from our environment. So I'll showcase some key and cool tools here and how we can transform. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to use the two matrices that were built last time. So as you remember, guys, I showcased how we can save, whether it's JSON, we can save it also in Excel. So what we'll do is, if we go to the enterprise matrix and we go back to attack Navigator, we can open in an existing layer. So what we'll do is, I have saved locally the two layers. So we have a threat layer and we have also a software layer. So we'll open the threat layer. So it's the same layer as we had last time, based out of 6 threat actor groups, which are TA505, Sandworm, Rocky, Menu Pass, Lazarus Group, and Lapsus. So before we move on, what I will do is, and I kind of showcased how we can manipulate some of these matrices last time. So what we'll do is, if we right click on any of the unselected or unmatched techniques, and we can select all unannotated techniques, and what we can do is we can toggle the state that makes them all this gray, and we can remove them clicking on an eye. What we also can do for your, it depends how you like to visualize things. I like to see it. So as you remember, guys, we did the formulas, how it creates these scorings. So what we can do is we can sort it alphabetically. We can also sort it from the end of the, so we can sort it from A to Z or from Z to A. What we can also do is, so now we sorted by the score. So it goes from all of these unselected ones has a score of 0, and then we have 1 to 5. But if we click again, we have highest scores to the lowest scores. So this is our heat map based on threat actor groups. So some of these are unselected because they have a sub techniques that will have some matches. So we'll build one without sub techniques, and I'll showcase how we can build one with sub techniques also. So what we can do is we can download it as an Excel. So we have an Excel file here. So we'll open it in Excel. So we still have these gray unselected ones. So what we'll do is we'll just remove the gray ones. Obviously we need to enable editing. So we'll just remove all of the gray ones from our matrix. We'll clear all of this content. Go, the last few. So if we remove all of this, we remove these. And then the last couple. So we have transformed our heat map. So now we have all the techniques that has all the matches. So what we'll do now, we'll go back to our defend matrix. And we can go to resources where we can use the tools. So the best tool for us to use in here is a tool called Attack Extractor. So we'll do that here. And then what we can do here is we can paste any attack IDs in here, and I'll showcase how this works. So what we'll do is we'll just select all of our matrix, make sure we select all of the techniques, you can copy, go back to here, paste it, and press go. It uniquely identifies all of our IDs and then builds this mapping. So what it does, it creates a mapping between attack techniques and defend techniques. So as you can see, it creates a verb as well. So it says uses domain user account, and then what we can do is we can detect domain account monitoring. So how we detect these techniques. So we can build this whole defensive artifact, how we can use defensive techniques to either harden, detect, and potentially evict threat actors based on that specific heat map. So it's a great resource how we can map. And then we can use a few things from here. So what we can share these results as a URL, or what we can also do, we can do select, copy, and then we go back to here. So what we can do, so for example, we have attack matrix here. So what we'll do here is we'll create, and we can rename the sheet. So what we'll do is rename, and then we'll rename it into defend matrix, let's say. And then we'll just paste it all in here. Obviously we can adjust the sizing and make sure that, you know, how it looks best for us. But what this does is we have a perfect mapping of all of our attack heat map into defend heat map. So we can visualize and we can build how we want, and all of these techniques has a link, so we can directly click on it and see how we can deploy these defensive techniques. So that's one way of going about it, but this way we just built based on the main techniques that appear without the sub techniques. So we'll just showcase how we can expand into sub techniques. So what we'll do now is we can expand into sub techniques also, and then what we'll make sure as well, make sure that we also have not metadata, matrix information. We also show all of the IDs. So we can also now save this in Excel with sub techniques. So I'll open this now. So there we go. Now we have not only techniques, but we have all sub techniques. So we can build another one, mapping, just making sure that we have all of the sub techniques in here too. So we'll just clear all of these that are not needed. just making sure that we're not capturing unnecessary sub-techniques in here. So we'll do all of the contents clearing in here. And then what else we got left? We got a few here. Okay, that's it. So these are all of the matrix with techniques and sub-techniques. So we'll do the same scenario now, where we'll select all of these, make sure we capture every single one. Copy, and then we'll go back to our defensive tool, and then what we'll do is we'll remove all of this, and then we'll paste the new ones. As you can see now, we have extracted unique 223 IDs. So obviously we have all of the IDs and their sub IDs, which will build the same type of matrix. Obviously some of these techniques, some like email addresses and gather victim identity, there is no defensive techniques created for it yet, but it will map all of the rest of them. So again, we can share results via URL. We can select and copy, and then we can do the same thing. So we can create here. So first of all, we have the attack matrix layer. We can create another layer, which we call defend matrix, and then we just paste the results here, which builds the same type of matrix that we have on the site. And these are great, just to keep it for your reference, and then we can create a prioritized plan, how we're going to implement some of these mitigations, some of the detections that we just mapped, and how we can elevate our defenses aligned to the attack matrix. So we're aligning specific defensive tactics to the threats that we perceive to be relevant to us. What's cool about the defend matrix as well, it uniquely identifies all of these IDs. So what you can do, and sometimes what's really helpful, you can look at specific threat reports, specific threat intelligence that you might deem it uniquely apply to your organization, and you can just paste it here, and you can build a defensive matrix based on any threat report, based on any threat intelligence that might have listing of these tactics, techniques, or procedures, and it will build the same sort of matrix for you. So we just did that for threat actor groups. Now what we can do is we do a similar one where we did and showcase how we can do, if you guys remember from last video. So I also built one for software. So this is the same type of matrix, but this time we selected a few ransomware groups like Klopp, Conti. We selected some of the very important threat actor tools such as Bloodhound, Cobalt Strike, and we built a similar type of matrix. So again, what we can do is we select all and not it ones, we toggle the state, and we remove. And then what we'll do as well, so we make sure it aligns from highest scores to the lowest. And again, it's the same type of thing. So what we can do is we just save it in Excel. I'm just saving it to Excel because, as you can see, guys, obviously some of these techniques that have sub-techniques, we not necessarily want to build a framework on them. So obviously if I just select everything here, I can't unselect. So it's just for manipulation what we can remove from matrix wise. So what we'll do is with the same thing as we did last time. So we'll just enable editing, obviously. and then we just select all of these gray techniques that we don't need, just making sure we get rid of them. And then last few on here. So we're just clearing the contents. So we're making sure that we capture all of these. There we go. As you can see, guys, obviously selected only the techniques. If we're doing multiple things like research and stuff like that, as I showcased in a previous example, we can also add something like IDs just to make our life easier. So sometimes, you know, when you go back and forth, if we're building a data mapping, sometimes these techniques with their numbers as well can be really helpful for us. But for this exercise, we don't necessarily need those. So what we're doing, we're just copying all of that, going back to our extractor tool. So we're using the attack extractor tool. Just remember, guys, because there's different toolings here as well. So what we'll do is we'll just remove all of this, making sure that it's all clear. And we're just pasting the stuff from Excel. Go. And as you can see, we have now 30 unique IDs that we can build. Again, the same matrix where, as you can see, it detects the attack ID. So we have attack name, you have taint, shared content, screen capture, things like application layer control, and then it all maps. So it creates a verb. So for example, produces outbound internet file transfer traffic, and then it creates a detect technique. So how we can detect it per host download upload ratio analysis. So it creates a verbs and techniques and how we can do, as well as, you know, how we can do spoofing, how we can do analysis. It just builds a great mental model how we can tackle some of these attack techniques and create a, you know, better defensive framework, a better defensive alignment. So again, we can do the same thing, this last few things. So we share the results via URL, or we do the same thing. So we can select, copy, and just again, going back to this. So we have the attack mapping, and then we can generate the defensive mapping. So again, D3FEND as they call, and this is our matrix. So we just paste the results here, and we have the mapping. So it's a great way to build these matrices and analyze how attackers will use specific attack techniques and how we can build and prepare our better defenses to counteract their attack moves. So I hope you guys learned something new. Hope you guys enjoy these videos, and I'm going to showcase in the future a few more videos. So potentially next video we're going to showcase how we can identify all of our data ingestion, data sources, and how we can see what coverage of the data source is showcased in our matrices. So thank you for watching, and as always, guys, appreciate any feedback. If you have, you know, you can find my LinkedIn on YouTube channel. Please reach out, and thank you.